Good morning, Bob here. Today is February 27th. It's a Friday, 2026. This is my first little guitar video since having my brain surgery on December 1st, 2025. So if I get something mixed up, please cut me a little slack. Overall, I've done fine recovering from guitar surgery, but I do have some little glitches here and there. So, just to fill you in on what's going on with me, I'm trying to get back into my workshop to finish a couple of guitars that I started quite a long time ago. And my wife happens to be in San Francisco for the next 12 days. Well, 10 days more now. And it was a perfect time for me to get my crap together and try to get back in here. And in fact, I'm very proud of myself because I have come back in and I'm working on the purflings and bindings for my last two guitars, probably my final two guitars. So I was doing that this morning and I did it most of the day yesterday. What I'd like to do, since Teresa is away, and I can do whatever I want for the next, 10 days or so, I thought I would show you all some guitars that I've made. And I thought I'd start with this one. This is what I call the Pearl Beauty 2. And it's a wonderful instrument. I'm going to put a little ruler here so I can sort of put this back in the same position. Yeah, so this is a Pearl Beauty 2. So you might say, well, where's the Pearl Beauty 1? That would be a good question. I made a guitar which I called the Pearl Beauty 1. Made it in 2007, and it was a beautiful instrument. It had almost an identical rosette to this one. It had some mother of pearl in it. It had a little mother of pearl design up here in the head. On the heel cap back here, it had a sort of a crest, mother of pearl. And can't remember exactly what the bridge had, but I'm pretty sure I had two mother of pearl dots, and I can't remember. I'd have to look back at the old photos. Unfortunately, that guitar went to New York for a while. It was in the hands of Tony, can't think of his last name, but he had a guitar store in Manhattan, Tony Accarda, something like that. Very nice man. He had that Pearl Beauty 1 guitar for about a year. And he was a pretty cool guy because I sent him the guitar and he sent me 1/3 of the money for it. And the other 2/3 of the money would be paid once he sold it. So he was kind of nice that he would give me a little bit of a cash benefit up front. He took it under consignment. It was the first guitar I ever gave to him to sell. And he had a bunch of interested people, but they didn't want to pay the price. So eventually I took that guitar back, and it was nice to get it back home, and I cleaned it up a little bit. It was in perfect shape when I got it back, and I just touched up a little, I shined it up a little bit. And eventually I sent it to my guitar dealer in Long Island, and that would be Savage Classical Guitars. And he bought it from me for a very decent price. And unfortunately, after he owned it, and it was out of my hands, Hurricane Sandy came in and demolished much of Long Island. And my dealer's house happened to be on Long Island. And his house, he was right on the water, and his house got flooded, and he was told to evacuate. He thought he had all the guitars in safe places, but once he got back to his house, his first floor was flooded, and there were like 30 guitars in cases floating around in his dining room. I think he had put mine on the dining room table, in a case, of course, and everything that was on the dining room table was a boat when he came home after the evacuation was over. That guitar got destroyed. The only thing he salvaged was the Rogers tuning machines. And in fact, I never saw the guitar after it got ruined. It broke my heart. And he was able to get insurance money for it, so he didn't lose his money. Matter of fact, he probably made money. But I found it interesting that he took off the Rogers tuners and, probably reused them or sold them, and he probably put some cheap tuners on when the insurance adjuster came over. I don't know. I'm just supposing. But I was always pretty upset that that guitar got destroyed. To my knowledge, it's the only Desmond that ever got destroyed, and it was a beautiful instrument, and it sounded beautiful. So that was 2007, that guitar. In 2016, I probably started it in 15, I don't remember. At some point I started this guitar. It was in a batch of 5 guitars, and all of those guitars were special guitars. They weren't my normal run-of-the-mill. I think at least three of them were my top grade, my Especial model, of which this is one of those. I wanted to talk a little bit about this guitar. I did have a customer that wanted to buy it, but once again, the deal fell through when he didn't want to pay the money. So I still own this, and it's a great guitar. It's very powerful, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about it. Through my 33-year career as a guitar maker, and I'm winding it down now, I'm retiring, but all throughout my career, I was constantly experimenting. I did learn guitar making from the great Manuel Velasquez. I had a lot of help from Robert Ruck, and some help from Jeff Elliott, and a friend of mine, an old friend of mine who's no longer a friend of mine, but I won't mention his name. And also there was an engineer by the name of Jose Mata, who was very helpful to me in the beginning. And he wasn't a guitar maker full-time. He was an engineer who made guitars in his retirement. Very nice man. Anyway, all of these people helped me in the beginning, and then as I made more guitars, I started asking myself questions like, how do I make a guitar that sounds like this or that? So I started experimenting, and of course, for a while, I was heavily influenced by the great Manuel Velasquez. But after a while, I started to deviate to find my own way. And I remained friends with Manuel and his son for a number of years. I think it was around 16 or 17 years. And at one point, the relationship fell apart. And to this day, I don't fully know why. But in any case, because they never told me. But in any case, Manuel was kind of my guiding light. He was a very nice man. We had a lot of laughs together. He was a very serious guitar maker, but he was humorous as well. He liked humor. I learned a lot from him, and then I learned even more from Rock and Jeff Elliott. Oh, I forgot to mention one person, Irvin Samaji, the great Irvin Samaji from Berkeley, California. He helped me learn how to make rosettes, and I won't go into all of that, but he was very kind to me. So this particular guitar, I was, at one point in my career, I had a chance to play a Greg Smallman guitar. And if you know anything about guitars, Smallmans are very heavy guitars. The box is very heavy. They have very thin tops, lattice braced. They have a big plywood frame inside. They have thick sides and a thick back. They're quite a heavy guitar, even heavier than this one. But I played two of them in my life, and one was owned by a friend of mine, and another was owned by a concert guitar player who happened to be playing a concert here in Orlando, and he let me play his guitar on stage just so I could hear it. And although the Smallman sound, I'm not sure I came to grips with it, but the power of those two guitars was very extraordinary and very interesting. They projected like a fine cone. They didn't come out like a big wide sound. They came out like almost like a cone. And they popped out. The sound sort of popped out from them. And that interested me. So I started to experiment with heavier sound boxes, only not with ultra thin soundboards and lattice bracing. I built a more traditional soundboard and put it on a heavier back, double rosewood sides, so I had this very firm sound box. And then, which is what this guitar is. This is doubled rosewood, Camatillo rosewood on the outside, Indian rosewood on the inside. The back is just a thicker piece of Camatillo rosewood from Mexico. And I'll get into that in a minute, but the top on this is German spruce. It's quite thin. I think the thickest point on this guitar is about 2.3, and it would be in this area here. The edges thin out probably below 2 millimeters. It's been a long time since I made it. 9 years ago, I guess I made this or finished it. Finished it 9 years ago. So I don't remember everything about it, but it's a 650 scale. It's a heavy sound box with a thin top. My sort of proprietary Desmond grid bracing. It's not lattice on the diagonal. The grid runs north, south, east, west. And I won't go into all of that, but it's something that I developed on my own for my own thing. I didn't copy it from anybody. And both harmonic bars, I believe, are opened on this. Where's my flashlight? I had it here a minute ago. Oh, here's one. Let's see if it works. Oh, yeah. And it's funny. Yeah. Both of these crossbars have openings in them. And anyway, ebony fingerboard. The face on this is leftover Cametillo rosewood, leftover from the parts that I cut off up here on the back. I made up some special marquetry with Purple Heart veneer and maple, and that marquetry is in the rosette as well. The half herringbone here, the dashes, whatever you call them, that is made of Purple Heart and maple. And then the rest of it is black and white, black and maple, dyed black and maple veneer. And of course, hand-cut pearls, which I hand-cut. And this is sort of a copy of 1929 Francisco Simplicio rosette, okay? Ebony fingerboard, 650 scale length with 2 millimeters of compensation. The action right now is at about 3.5 and probably 3.5 here and maybe 2.7 on the treble. If I can get my finger under here, it's 10 millimeters. So the height of the strings off of the soundboard are, I think, 10. Let me check. Yeah, 10 and a half. 10.5 millimeters, maybe even closer to 11. And there's saddle height here where I can go down a little further if I want. Cametillo rosewood back and sides. Beautiful Cametillo rosewood back. I haven't played this for a while because I've not done anything with guitar making. I'll show you the back, and I know it's going to glare, so I will turn it slowly, maybe until it doesn't glare. Turn it the other way. And you can get an idea of what this looks like. Turn it a little bit because I know you're going to get a reflection. This has got a mahogany neck. The neck tapers from 21 millimeters to 25, like a Hauser. The head angle is 10 degrees. And the tuners on this guitar are made by David Rogers. Maybe Rob, his son. Rob Rogers made these tuners, I believe. And I think there's an end graft of Purple Heart. It's a herringbone, Purple Heart and maple. Same with the back. Purple Heart and maple. And this, I don't usually use sapwood, but I really like this, so I left it in. Usually I cut it out and put another piece of rosewood here. Anyway, yeah, mahogany neck, entirely French polished by myself. I think it's in tune. Yeah, so I'll hold it like this. It's got a pretty big sound. No sound port in this one. And this is one of, I think I have 12 Desmonds in stock right now. This is one of them. And I'm making 2 more. So at some point in the next couple of years, I'll have 14 Desmonds, which is more than I will ever need. And I'm done. I'm not making any more other than the 2 I'm working on now. So just a little bit about the Pearl Beauty 2. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, double sides. Sides are about a little over 4 millimeters thick. Back is probably close to 3 millimeters thick, which is a heavy back. This is a heavy guitar. Now, I want to talk about that for a second because it's a heavy guitar and it was intentionally made to be a heavy guitar. So if a person who's used to a lightweight guitar picks this one up, they're going to find it grossly heavy because of the back and sides. But in fact, a lot of the power and sustain is coming from the back, sides, and neck of this, the basic mass of this guitar. When it's in my lap, I don't find it heavy at all, but to pick it up now like this, it's certainly not a light guitar. There's also a mother of pearl position dot at the 5th and 7th on this. Nickel silver frets. I do my head slots like Torres and Hauser. I like the square bottom with the round top. And that's basically all I can say about this guitar. It's nice that it's still here. It is for sale. It's not inexpensive. It's quite, it's not a cheap guitar, let's put it that way. And I'm not trying to sell it to anybody out there, but this would be a rather expensive instrument. And I guess that's about it. It's nice to share it with you. It's nice to find myself back in the workshop. I'm almost 3 months post brain surgery. So I'm on the other side of brain surgery. I do have a MRI coming up of the brain so he can see if there's any more growth. He got the entire tumor out. What was happening, it was pushing on my right optic nerve, causing my right eye to go blind. And if I didn't have it taken out, I would have gone blind in both eyes. So I had no option, it had to come out. My eyesight, I've mentioned this in some of my hiking videos, but my recent hiking videos, but my eyesight has improved a little bit with the bad eye. I think right now it's about 20/60. So I can see everything in this room, and everything is fairly sharp, and I can read some print, which is great. It's not nearly as sharp as this eye. This is 20/20. So I got one really good eye and one not so good eye. And I'll probably have it that way for the rest of my life unless it gets better. Just in closing on this video, it was great to get out in the workshop yesterday and today and get my head into some detail work because I wasn't sure how much my right eye would affect the detail work that I have coming up. And I have to say I'm pretty happy with it right now. It's, like I say, it's not seeing perfect, but it's definitely better than when I had the tumor behind my forehead. So I'm grateful for that. And what I'd like to do is just shoot these little videos of each of the guitars that I have in the other room, just to show you a little bit of, what I have done the last 10 years or so. This one is from 2017, so it was completed 9 years ago. And it's a lovely instrument, a little bit on the gaudy side, Gaudy, with the mother of pearl and all that. Some people won't like that, but it was really in honor of the guitar that got lost in Hurricane Sandy. Okay, that's about it. Bob checking out, and thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a great day and a great weekend as well. Okay, take care now.